Huckelby, and I'm going to be leading tonight's Shabbat service. And hello to everyone on Zoom. It's very nice seeing you. I'm very glad that you can be here, although it's not in person. Let's start with Hine Matov on page 128. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Okay. I'm going to invite Vivian and Valerie to light the candles and bring in Shabbat. No? Nope. Do it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Let's all join together on page 338 for Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Lishnei u'tferet v'lei tefillah. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. Likrat kala shalechu v'neilcha, Ki mikor habracha, Mirosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maseh b'mchat tefillah. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. Paragraph 5. Hitoreri, Ki va'orech miuri, beri, kavod Adonai alayich migla. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the door while we welcome the Sabbath bride on paragraph 9. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha utzchola, toch emune am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabecha. Okay, let's go to page 142 for Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzeitzkim l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Let's go to Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba, ve'amati v'rakirte v'yam lich malchute, v'chaye chonu v'yom echon, uchaye doko beit Yisrael, bagala ubizman kariv, v'meru amen, yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'alam lo me'amaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, le'la min kol berkata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amir ambilma, v'meru, amen. Please stand for the Baruch. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach leolam vaed. Hamevorach, hamevorach leolam vaed. Please be seated. So now, usually in the service, we think about nature, and we usually ask around for observations that you saw in nature that you liked, like maybe you saw a bird. So would anyone like to share? Ooh. Yes, Holly. Ooh. Oh. Yes, Rick. Ooh. Oh, that's very nice. Anyone else? Yes, sunsets are very beautiful. Oh, geckos are very cute. Yes. Spider webs. Nice. Okay. Let's go to Ahavat Olam on page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta, Torah umitzvot, Chukim umishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochvenu, Ukvenu nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, Umitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki chem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, uvahem nolamam v'layla, v'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'omamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please stand for Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Vivian and Barry, would you like to read Vafta?
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינפתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ובטחתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's go to Micha Mocha on page 158. Micha Mocha Bailim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Deilot O Sefela, Nora Deilot O Sefela. Okay. Adonai Imloch Leolam Vaed. Let's go to Huckelby on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. L'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
And then let's go to Vishamru on page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Israel, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please stand for tefillah. Adonai, Sebatai Tiftachu, Fia Gita Gilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, V'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Hakadol, Hakibor, V'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Kasevot V'imahot, Umiviglo Lev Nevnehem, Uman Shemo V'yaha, Melech Ozer, Moshiach Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Elokei Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Metim atah Baruch Mori Tatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Geburot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umchaye, Umatmiach Neshua, V'neman Atah Lakayot Mitim, Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye HaMetim, Atah Kadosh V'Simchat Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'Kol Yom L'Chazela, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Let's go to Ritzay on 175. Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'amecha Yisrael, U'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, U'tehi l'ratzon, Tamid avodat Yisrael, Yisrael Amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, She'odecha levadecha be'yira, Navod, Navod, Navod. Let's go to Shalom Rav on page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tonecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. V'kol edu v'kol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Okay, Misha Berach, other. Oh, please be seated. Awesome.
For the Misha Barak list, we want to recognize and pray for those in need of healing. Maggie Verano, Penny Clark, Janice Schulman, Brendan, John, and Julian Blue, Paige Youngblood, Joe Domagalski, Arlen Opper, Sandy Lewin, John Noxon, Penny Bloomberg, Faith Gobuddy, Laura Sender Lawrence. And I think we do the Kaddish now too. Is there anyone else that we have left off the Misha Barak list? Yes.
Rebecca Rutherford, Maria Rasmus, Louisette Brown.
Thank you.
We turn to page 371 for Misha Be'ach. Misha Be'ach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Be'ach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Now we are going to listen to a wonderful Devar Torah written by my mother. So,
Shabbat Shalom. I hope I'm doing this right. Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the room as well as on Zoom. This is the story, just a quick summary. This is the story of Moses sending out the 12 spies. Only Joshua and Caleb escaped the terrible sin of speaking falsely about God's promised land. In chapter 14, verses 1 through 4, the entire assembly of people wept when they listened to the 10 spies instead. Rashi to Psalms 106, verse 27 states, the tragedy of their delusion had far-reaching consequences for when the people wept that night. God declared, they indulged in weeping without a cause. I will establish this night for them as a time of weeping throughout the generations, end quote. That night was Tisha B'Av, 9th of Av, the date when both temples were destroyed and many other tragedies took place throughout Jewish history. Rashi says, Moses added the letter Yud to Yehoshua's name so that his name would begin with the letters of God's name, Yod He Vav He. The Hebrew name Yehoshua means God save or God will save, which signifies that Moses prayed, may God save you, Joshua, from the conspiracy of the spies, chapter 13, verse 16. The Talmud Sanhedrin 107a teaches that the letter Yud added to create the Hebrew name Yehoshua had been removed from Sarai's name when her name was changed to Sarah. Rav Nissan Alpert suggests that the link thus formed between Joshua and Sarah was critical for Joshua's mission. In order for him to conquer the land of Israel, it was necessary for him to internalize Sarah's insistence that the son of that servant shall not share in the inheritance with my son Isaac, Genesis 21, verse 10, not Ishmael and not his descendants. Targum Yonatan renders, quote, when Moses saw the humility of Joshua, this implies that Moses felt the need to single out Joshua because his humility could make him susceptible to the persuasion of his fellow spies. In Hofetzheim says, however, his life may be in danger as wicked people might want to do away with the zealot and in his threat to them. Rav Yaakov Kamensky explains that since Caleb was married to Moses' sister, Miriam the prophetess, he was already fortified against their nefarious plans. In the Haftarah, Joshua 2, verses 1 through 24, Rahav, the Zonah, hid the 2 spies that Joshua, son of Nun, dispatched. Bravely, she made the decision and acted on it, which saved her family's fate. Why? Because of the story that went ahead of them, a theme we learned while studying with Bernie Goldberg in his classes. The story of the children of Israel and God's miracles of their exodus from Egypt and the 2 kings of the Amorites, Og and Sihon, across the Jordan were utterly destroyed. Rahav chose to believe the story she heard about the mighty God of Israel, that he is God in the heavens above and on the earth below, Joshua chapter 2, verse 11. Rahav then makes an oath with the 2 spies in chapter 2, verses 12 and 13, that they repay the same kindnesses to keep her father's household alive and save their souls from death. They agree and make the oath with Rahav, and she tied the bundle of scarlet threads to her window as a sign when Bnei Israel returned to Jericho. Mida keneged mida, measure for measure. Hail, so Isaiah 3, verses 10 and 11 say, hail the just man, for he shall fare well. He shall eat the fruit of his works. Woe to the wicked man, for he shall fare ill. As his hands have dealt, so shall it be done to him. Excuse me, I'm nervous. I hope that each of us can look into the mirror and be willing to say to ourselves that we will have faith, be strong to follow the instructions in the Torah, to say and follow what is true as Joshua and Caleb did, even though they were in the minority, to stand for what is right, even if there's threats from the masses. If we value in sticking together as a community and help each other overcome obstacles, what a legacy we will leave for the children of this Jewish community. Putting ego aside so that we as people can grow, division only weakens. CBS has been a welcoming place for me and my family. I appreciate the smart ways that CBS has had to pivot and figure out how we can gather together for worship outside together during this, when this pandemic was still so new. Rabbi Nancy, the president, past president, administration, staff, and Carl, and all the laypersons have helped make Beth Shalom a safe kehillah and a welcoming place for all to come to worship. It's an honor to participate in this evening in Rabbi Nancy's absence. I would like to share with you just a short, since we're not going to have such music because Rabbi Nancy's not here, but talk about music, information and history that I learned this year. The United States has been celebrating African American Music Appreciation Month in June since 1979. The month of June is set aside to appreciate the contributions of African American musicians, composers, singers, and songwriters in American culture. I quote in part, for generations, Black music has conveyed the hopes and struggles of a resilient people, spirituals mourning the original sin of slavery, and later heralding freedom from bondage, hard truths told through jazz and the sounds of Motown during the Civil Rights Movement, and hip hop and rhythm and blues that remind us of the work that still lies ahead. The music created by Black artists continues to influence musicians of all persuasions, entertain people of all backgrounds, and shape the story of our nation. Music has the power to lift our spirits, comfort our souls, and inspire our hearts. It gives a voice to the human spirit, creating a common language that unites people and breaks down barriers, says President Joe Biden in his proclamation. When President Jimmy Carter designated June as Black Music Month in 1979, it wasn't until 2000 when the presidential proclamation for the month was signed. President Barack Obama in 2009 went on to rename the month from Black Music Month to its current name, African American Music Appreciation Month. First coming into existence in 1979 as Black Music Month, this month was meant to honor and celebrate Black artists' contributions to music on US soil. President Jimmy Carter wanted people to recognize how much of an impact Black music has had, not only at home, but also abroad, as people all over the world were adopting elements from it to express themselves. African American music is not just music, but an integral part of American history. The beats and sounds of these genres influenced rock, soul, gospel, swing, bebop, boogie woogie, and other genres of music. Famous rock bands like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles credit blues and jazz as major influences of their music. In fact, a lot of Elvis Presley's songs were originally performed by Black artists. Throughout the month of June, music lovers gather together to celebrate African American Music Appreciation Month. They celebrate the diversity, inclusivity, and the community's impact in shaping cultural conversations in modern America. Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to invite up Mr. Hank for announcements now.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Hank Lander, a member of the congregation, and I'm here to read your announcements, but I've just got to start with Donna, right? That was a wonderful devar, and I really was gonna say how much I love the Hebrew portion of it, but then you blew me away with the African-American history of music, because we know we wouldn't have it. We went without Motown, without all the cities and the bands. Oh, there's such a strong history of that, the influence. So we wouldn't have had the Beatles, Elvis, or any of that without it. So thanks for bringing out a light moment tonight. Your daughters, Vanessa, Valerie, Vivian, your leadership up here, your singing. It's really good for my heart, and I bet everybody else in the congregation. So thank you for your leadership tonight. All right, so I put it away for a moment. Yeah, we have to wear masks because of Sacramento County raising their COVID awareness to high risk. So we'll continue to wear these around the synagogue. We'll make sure everybody coming in has their vaccine and been boosted, right? And this goes across the board for our students in the Shama and any of the different events we have here. I want to thank Roberta and David Malkin for their sponsorship tonight of the ONEG. Sad to say there's no tourist study tomorrow, but the following Saturday, July 2nd, there will be tourist study, and that will be led by Nick Alexander. He'll be our facilitator. If you're interested in joining the choir for this year's High Holy Days, yeah, really. I got to say, I think we've got the singers right here. Choir rehearsal is held on Wednesdays at 6:30 right here in the sanctuary in person. Join us next week for Shabbat service, where our president at 6 o'clock will lead the service. Roy, good to see you here tonight. Then mark your calendars for the Welcome Back Barbecue. Try and say that fast 3 times. Welcome Back Barbecue. Welcome Back Barbecue. It wasn't that hard to do. Okay. We've moved our date to Friday, August 19th. Join us for dinner at 6, followed by services at 7 o'clock. It's a fun-filled way to spend Shabbat, welcome back our rabbi, reconnect with friends, meet and make new friends. It's all going to be happening here. And there'll be an online registration as well for the Welcome Back Barbecue. And food fair, everybody's got to save the date, September 18th, Sunday, but you also have to get online and sign up Genius for this year's 45th annual event. That's how we're getting our volunteers all pulled together. And with that, I wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. And now I need my prayer book. And now we go to page 586 for Aleinu. And you guys join me. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'girei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam cholkeinu kahem,
Vigor Aleinu Kechol Hamona. Bana Vigorim. Mishakarim Umodim. Rifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. She'unote Shamayim ve'oseh haaretz. U'Moshe v'karo b'shamayim imo. Ushkinatu zo. V'gavei meromim. Hu Eloheinu einot. Emek Malkeinu efesu ato. Kakatu v'torato. V'yadatayom v'hashavotav. Elevavecha. Ki Adonai hua Elohim ba 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 shamayim imo. Ve'al haaretz mitachat einot. Emor v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, ki Adonai echad. Ushamo echad.
I'd like to invite Mother back up for reading the Kaddish poem.
We'd like to acknowledge those who have passed recently. Heinz Brass, Diane Carter, Florenciano Carvajal, Eliyahu Carvajal, Alvin Friedland, Ann Gershonzon, Stephen Warren Kaplow, Molly Koppelman, Sam Malkin, Louis Malkin, Lori Malkin Seidel, Ruth Pekel, Sanford Sachs, Sandra Zales, and are there any names that we have missed? Let me ask for them. Yeah. Bernie Esselstyn. And we have the Kaddish list. Sandra Jeffrey, Dennis Matat, Raquel Kagan de Apasoa, Sergeant Beryl Hadaria Shmuley, Linda Clark, Bill Jenkins, Bob Unger, Emma Rankileo Nalangan, Carl Saperstein, Amy Lustig, Mark Kane, Jen Garcia, Ada Brody, Victor Gabriel, Ricky Joe Miller, Robin Ash, Karina Blue, Sarah Lipson, Jean Rubin, Daniel Yoshby, Carol Trachtenberg, Alan Blickstein, Bill McDonald, Judith Spivak, and Bernard Elliott Esrelu. Are there any names that were inadvertently left off? Bobby Lee Davis. Eddie Lau. May we all stand as one family as we say the Kaddish. And for all the soldiers who we have lost their lives and have no one to pray for them as well.
Let's join on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechon uvyomechon uchaye dechol beit Yisrael. V'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekutsha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'momav, huya oseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. I'm inviting Vivian and Barry back up for En Keloheinu as our ending prayer on page 626. En Keloheinu, en Kadonenu, en Kemalkeinu, en Kamoshienu, mi Keloheinu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kemalkeinu, mi Kamoshienu. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Emalkeinu, no del Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Atahu Shektiru Avotenu, Lefanecha et Ketoret HaSangim. Shabbat Shalom. We're now going to go into the foyer and do Kaddish. Yay! Thank you. Wait, because we were like, okay, are we gonna do our meeting? I know, right? And Shabbat Shalom. Okay. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone on Zoom. We hope you have a wonderful Shabbat Shalom. Wherever you took it.
Okay, Heidi,
So-
are you going to say Shabbat Shalom to
I
everyone?
am.
Go for
Shabbat
it.
Shalom, Jean, Kathy. Shabbat Shalom, Nick. Shabbat Shalom, Anne Marie. Shabbat Shalom, Meryl. And Shabbat Shalom, Harriet.
Thank you, Heidi. I love that. Shabbat Shalom,
you.
everyone. Shabbat Shalom, Nick, Heidi, Meryl, Anne Marie, Jean, and anyone who logged off early. See y'all next time. Happy June 14th, June 24th.